Hi, so I'm going to show you my top three contender of properties that I chose from and the reasons why I did not choose these properties. So as you can see in this first property, it's on a hill, and that was one of my reasons that I did not choose this property. The second reason was that there was a lot of work to be done inside. The property also had some water damage. The plumbing, there was a leak in there and they could not see where the leak was coming from. So, although it was a beautiful area, the property was just not for me. Again, it was on a hill and I didn't want to have to worry about being older, like close to 70, trying to, work my way up that hill. Um, but going up this hill right here, like there was a side door and it had a very nice garden area, and this right here looked like I think it was a restaurant. So it had, things close by, but again, the hill was just not something that I wanted to deal with. And so this video, I'm going to be going over, the property that I chose, and then the buying process as well. This will be part one in the buying process, and steps on buying a property in Andalusia, Spain. So yeah, so this is just a view of that property, the first property again, showing you the hills, going down that hill there. So this is property number two. Again, it was in a narrow alleyway, so I would have had to park a car maybe down the bottom of the hill and then try and work my way up the hill. And, beautiful property. No work had to be done inside, but it just was not the property for me. Because I couldn't see myself again walking up a narrow hill. So yeah, so that was the reason why this property would not. So this property right here, this was these were the properties that I chose. Sorry for the, the wire showing in the video here. But yeah, so this was the first property in the front here that I chose. I liked the area. It was very nice. I could park. You see the cars driving through. It was parking area. It was like the olive groves on the hill. And then walking back down here in the alleyway, you'll see here we're getting ready to go down alleyway there. An English couple bought that house there in the end. Okay, yeah, so this was the second house back up in here, which needed a lot of work, but it was basically just a solid foundation here. Yeah, this is the second house here. So this was the one that came. It was basically a 2-for-1 deal. Someone was using this property area as, like storing their chickens and all of that kind of stuff. This is like a little courtyard here. So I can, okay, so this is again the courtyard area. So I'm going to go over the process of buying a property in Spain. This is a 3-part video, so I'm just going over the first 3 steps in buying the property. So if you're looking for a property in Spain, I mean, you can either fly over. As you can see, you can fly into Malaga, it's an international airport, or fly into Madrid. That's an international airport as well. I fly into Malaga, and I usually take the 2-hour, it's a little under a 2-hour drive to go up to Jaén. It's a beautiful drive, lots of olive groves everywhere. And also you see there, like it's right over, not far from Morocco. You just take the fast ferry across. Then Portugal is not showing on the map, but that's right over to the left side. So if you want to try purchasing a property online, which I found a couple of listings, there is Inland Andalusia, there's Think Spain, Idealista, and then A Place in the Sun. Okay, I found my property from Inland Andalusia listings. I like how they give a video tour of the properties that they list on their site, and they just really give you a great information about the area. And the agent that I had, she was wonderful. Well, she was basically the seller's agent, but she was still wonderful towards me. So yeah, so my first step was once I found the property that I was interested in purchasing, I contacted Inland Andalusia and I placed a reservation deposit. The reservation deposit is usually 3 to 12,000 euros, and that's basically a deposit that you place on the property that you are interested in, and that freezes the purchase price so that they cannot raise the price of the property. And at this point, they'll hold the property for you, and then you usually, at this time, you will get a real estate lawyer. And what that real estate lawyer does is he will check the property to make sure that the property does not have any holds or liens against it, or that there are any taxes due on the properties. So yeah, so it's great to get a real estate lawyer. Also, you can get a surveyor to check the property. A surveyor usually costs about 50 euros. And what that surveyor does is he will check the property to give you a guesstimation on the cost of repairing the property, what may be wrong with the property, and if that's something that you are willing to do. Some properties, some people are interested in buying properties that are like turnkey. Some people are interested in buying properties that are total fixer-upper. Again, that's up to you to decide what kind of property that you are interested in, or what you want to take on for your move. So once you have your lawyer should pretty much like handle your processes for you. Again, he's going to be checking the property and doing all kind of legal research to make sure that the property is free to buy, make sure there are no taxes owed on the property, and as well as getting your NIE number. So your NIE number is a number that it's called a numero de identidad de extranjero. Excuse me if I didn't pronounce that right. But what that is just a number that you're assigned so that you can do any kind of financial and legal transactions in Spain, buying property as a foreigner, and as well as you needed to open up a bank account or to do any kind of business in Spain. So yeah, so once you have your NIE number, then your next step in the process is contrato de arras, and that's a full private purchase contract. So this stage right here, you will put down 10 to 20% of the deposit of the purchase of the property. And so before you sign this contract right here, you want to make sure, that your surveyor has checked the property to make sure that there is absolutely nothing wrong with the property that you will be stuck with. And you also want to make sure that the lawyer has cleared the property, to show that there's absolutely nothing that can't be fixed that's wrong with the property. If you're not into, fixing a ground up or property. Yeah, so okay, so once the lawyer has cleared that step, and then again, so this property right here, this contract right here is the full private purchase contract. And again, you will put 10 to 20% deposit down, depending on the price of the house or the property. And then both parties will have to sign this contract. And once signed, if you decide to change your mind at this stage right here, because this contract is a full binding contract, if you decide to change your mind at this step, then you will lose your deposit, and you cannot get that deposit back. And if if the seller decides to change his mind in this phase of once the contract is signed, then the seller will have to pay you double the amount of your deposit. So that means that the deposit that you place, that 10 to 20% deposit that you place, if the seller decides to change their mind, then they have to pay you double the amount that you paid, put down as a deposit. So yeah, so these are the first couple of steps in the buying process. And this is part 1 of a part 3 series. In the next video, I will be going over the notary, which is called the notario. I will be going over the title deed, the signed, sealed, and delivered. And I also will be going over the property taxes, and if you have to translate any of the documents. Again, tip is to make sure that you have a lawyer who speaks and writes fluent English. But also, if you don't understand Spanish, then you should have all of your documents translated before you sign, um, any kind of final seal on the property. So again, if you like this video, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel so that we can give you more information. And again, bear with me. I'm new to this process and I'm also older, so I'm just trying to put these videos together so that you can enjoy my journey in buying a property. So in the next video, we'll talk about the next step, which is the notary process, as well as translating your documents from Spanish to English, as well as more about your NIE number. Again, please like and subscribe if you'd like more information about the buying process in Spain. I'd like to give you more contents. This is the first of a 3-part series. So bear with me as I go over, my process and like creating content to share with you all. Thanks for watching.